Hello, beautiful ladies. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm ALANA Palm, Christian trauma release and mind renewal specialist, and I help Christian women overcome overwhelm, fear, frustration, and trauma from a Christ-centered perspective. If this interests you, please continue watching. Good morning. Hello, ladies. Today, we're going to talk about a really fun topic. So I titled this one, what hamsters and trauma have in common. And I thought that was kind of a fun title because it's intriguing and we wonder, okay, well, what does that mean exactly? So I'm excited to introduce this concept to you of hamsters and trauma. So sometimes I like to try to be a little clever with my words. So hopefully that intrigued you enough and you're here and you're excited to learn more. So I was saying, when I had posted this and I had emailed out about this live today, I had said, there are so many opportunities, to look at what we do and how we show up in life. And awareness is so important because it's really hard to do something about a problem to actually find a solution for a problem when we have no idea what the problem is. So today I had kind of started off with this introduction where the other day I was on the phone with a woman who was interested in coming into the Set Free Academy. And she told me her whole story. And then she asked this question. She said, "Do you think I'm just wallowing in this?" And she had told a lot of her story and a lot of her pain, which I love to hear. I love to hear women's stories. But she felt that she was wallowing and ruminating. And, in all honesty, because I said to her, hey, look, you've been told in life, because she had said she'd been told by so many people that she was just going in circles and she needed to shift her mindset, ask God to heal her, and just trust him, right? So easy peasy, right? No, it sounds like it, but it's not. She had tried all those things, obviously. And my answer to her question was the wallowing is not a bad thing. It's not like we're doing it because we want attention or we're doing it because we have some control over it in some way. We know we're doing it, but we don't know how to stop it because it is a cry for help. It is a trauma response that we have because we can't do a pattern interrupt yet in our subconscious belief system to actually say, okay, I don't need to think about this thing anymore, because that thing becomes our obsession. It becomes our focus. And I understand what it's like to ruminate about something over and over again and not know how to get off the hamster wheel. It's maddening, but we don't know how to stop it, right? And being that it's a trauma response, we get to take a look at what that actually means. So the problem with trying to stop wallowing, trying to stop it, is it doesn't work. It doesn't work to try. We try and try and try. We try to do things, right? The interesting thing is it's very counterintuitive, but to get the things done that you want to do from a place of peace, joy, and freedom in the Lord is not by trying, right? It's not by working. It's not by striving. It's by resting. But we try so hard to fix these things, and trying is not what's going to work. And the thing is, worthiness can actually hold us back from so much. When we don't feel worthy, we're not really stepping into all that God has for us. God gave you a purpose on this earth. You are here for a reason. He designed you to be here for a reason. Before all the pain and the hurt and the trauma happened to you, he had a plan. But see what happens when we go through that and we're stuck, right? We're stuck on the hamster wheel. When we feel unworthy, we don't actually step into what he's calling us to because we're afraid to go into the uncomfortable. But when we uproot those beliefs that make us feel unworthy and healing comes, anything is possible with God, right? And we often wait for God to come and save us. I think there's a lot of women who are like, okay, I'm struggling, I'm suffering, but I'm going to keep praying because eventually God's going to heal me. But the truth is, he already saved us, right? It is finished. He saved us. We just get to come into agreement with it. We get to receive it. Right? So if he's already done everything, why are we not receiving it? Why are we not coming into agreement with it? Because when we don't really receive all he has for us, that's where there's a disconnect. He's giving it freely. He gives us good gifts, but we don't always take them. We don't always say, yeah, okay, God, I believe you. I know that you are good. I know you're giving me good gifts and I'm going to receive all your love, because there's a disconnect when we feel unworthy. Because remember, he stands at the door and knocks, right? We are responsible for opening the door and letting him in. He will not push his way in, right? If we're too scared to let him in, that won't allow us to fully receive all he has for us. And many of us know, many of you who are watching, and a lot of you are in the Set Free Academy, you know that it allows you to partner with God in a new way, right? The Set Free Academy is all about knowing your worth deep down and your value in him, and really being firmly rooted and grounded in your identity as his daughter. And, we start the whole program by working on releasing those subconscious blocks, the deep subconscious beliefs. And we keep doing this because as you go through the program, you'll notice that those things will pop up. You'll get triggered. And I always say, and I think the ladies are getting used to this now as I say it over and over again, I find triggers are an opportunity for us. If we're in the right environment, we have the right support, a trigger can actually be an opportunity for so much growth. Because when we're triggered, we go, okay, I'm in pain again and I want to get out of it. What do I do? And if we have the right support around us, we can actually work through that trigger and heal it on a deeper level, right? Because the trigger's in our subconscious, and we can tell ourselves all these stories about, oh, I'm triggered because that person made me angry, or this is the situation in my life that's making me angry. But under anger is always fear, sadness, and this desire for love, right? A fear of maybe being abandoned, a fear of being found out, a fear of not being provided for or protected, right? So if we go into those feelings, that's where the real healing lies. Because a lot of times we just come out with this surface kind of way of dealing with it, but that's not where the root is pulled up. The root is pulled up when we go beneath that, the manifestation of whatever that emotion is on the outside. There's something deeper going on. And we ask questions more and more and more to get to that deeper part, right? So you can stop spinning out of control emotionally and mentally, right? Because that's not your fault. And I want you to hear that. If you're struggling with like a broken record of negative thoughts, it's not your fault. It's a trauma response, right? So we heal the trauma and release it so you're available to receive his love. And then we dial in and work on going into this deep dive into his truths so you can absorb them into your being. Instead of just like having them in your head, you are able to absorb them into who you are and live that out. Walking with your head held high, stop running away. You don't hide anymore the same way you used to. And you learn to use your voice to lovingly say no when you actually want to say no, instead of saying yes because you want to make other people happy, right? You learn to use your voice confidently and lovingly to say no and set healthy boundaries, right? We need to put on our own oxygen mask first. And most of the ladies in the Set Free Academy at some point in their life have struggled with going into the downward spiral at times, and maybe you have too, right? You don't know how to stay out of it consistently. And we know this, right? So we provide that ongoing support in the academy, but what support do you have to help you when you go in the downward spiral? Who can actually get to the deeper root of it, not just, oh, I'm going to talk to my friend about it and they're going to pray for me, which is wonderful. But sometimes we can also feel like we're a burden on our friends. I used to feel like such a burden on my friends. And I had friends who would walk away from me because they couldn't handle all my stuff. And I don't blame them because I had a lot of stuff, a lot of ruminating, right? But you're focusing, if you have that support in your life, you really want to focus on the strategies after you deal with the deeper stuff that's going on, and even throughout as you deal with it. You also want to mix that in with tools and strategies to continue on the same path of living out his love, right? Through what you say, what you do, to be his hands and feet on this earth without fear or worry. So if we think about the house analogy, right, at the same time as you're in the program learning how to build a house, maybe you're learning how to be an architect, or you're in construction and you're in this deep dive program, you're also doing hands-on work, right? You're not just like sitting there absorbing the information, you're experientially learning, right? You're going to shadow somebody, you're going to learn, they're going to give you little responsibilities and more responsibility, so that when you do go out on your own, you're ready, you're prepared, you know how to go and do that job. So it goes hand in hand. And that's what will really help you go from ruminating and spinning on the hamster wheel of negative emotions, negative thoughts, to no longer going into that place all the time, because you know how to manage it, right? And Actually, the fun thing is, and I mean, you ladies who are on right now, we have some fun announcements tonight on our group call. So I hope you can be there for our Set Free Academy group call. But something that you don't know that I didn't know if we were going to announce tonight or not, but we're working on the final touches on a bit of a mastery program for women who go through the academy and then they want to coach other women. So this leadership track is just beginning, but it's so exciting as so many women come into the program and they get healed. They get so much forward movement in their life and they think, I want to comfort others with the same comfort God has given me. Now I'm in a better place and I can really minister to other women who've been through abuse or trauma, right? Just like my situation where I went through all my own abuse and trauma and now I can help other women. They want the same thing. They want to live out their purpose in a new way, help other women heal. Right? So we're going to be extending the program as an opportunity for women who want that to really learn how to live out their God-given purpose and minister to other women in a way that's supportive, loving, but also pushes them forward in this beautiful container of holding them through it and validating them as they go through it, but also going, okay, what else is possible for you, right? And so obviously, for those of you who have been interested in the Set Free Academy, we know it's not a cheap fix, right? Almost every woman who works with us has tried therapy, self-help books, prayer, conferences, church, everything. And those things worked to a point, absolutely, but they wanted something more. And this is an intensive deep dive program, and I've shared this before, and you get so much support and access to the coaches in the community. And as one of my clients recently said on her testimonial video, like she would have paid $1 million to have these breakthroughs. And remember, anything is possible with God, right? When we step into trust, we're opening the door for Him to come in. And that is a beautiful way to start receiving Him fully and break through that fear inside you. So the question I have for you is, what are you doing on your journey with the Lord to actually be like a co-laborer with Him, where He's standing at the door and knocking and you're letting Him in? And if you're not letting Him in, what's the reason why? Right? We did a really powerful visualization in the 5-day intensive last week that many of you probably did because you've gone through it. And it really shows you, it creates so much awareness about your relationship with the Lord and where there might be a disconnect. And if you feel a disconnect, if you're not really receiving Him and letting Him in, isn't that the one thing that you want to be doing in this life? Is taking steps to have a deeper relationship with Him, love yourself for who He created you to be, and have that freedom, that rest in Him. Like, isn't that the ultimate? Bringing heaven down to earth in that way, and through that place of rest in Him, being His hands and feet and living out our God-given purpose. If that's what you want, it's available to you. So what is your next step? What is the right next step for you? I want you to think about that today. How can you step out a little bit into the uncomfortable today? How can you stretch yourself today? How can you look into healing those subconscious belief systems that are holding you back? Because healing is 100% possible. And if you think the Set Free Academy will be something that, would support you, then absolutely book a call, and just see what it's all about, right? And you can ask your questions. We can support you in, how you can move forward. And then, if it's a good fit, we can make an invitation to come in and you can be supported and loved and get the healing that you so desperately want in this beautiful container with these amazing women who are so loving and supportive. And we have some amazing things coming down the pipeline. So those of you who are on here who are already in the academy, I hope you can be on the call tonight because we have some exciting announcements of ways that we are expanding and growing and serving you even better. So this is super, super exciting. And you know what? For some of the women who come into the academy, we get to fight for you a little bit more at the beginning than you might be ready to fight for yourself. But as time goes on, you start to take that on more. And you start to actually see a shift and you start standing for yourself more. But if you're done, like, this is the time to come in because it sounds to me like you're just feeling like you're done, right? And what's possible for you? Because God wants so much more for you. And I've been there. I get it. I thought I was doomed to this life of constantly thinking negatively, never seeing my self-worth, never being able to take off my mask, show people who I was, be the authentic me, right? So if it's possible for me and it's possible for Carol, it's possible for anyone. Remember, ladies, when it comes to what hamsters and trauma have to do with one another, remember, being on the hamster wheel, ruminating, wallowing, it's not your fault. It's a trauma response, and it's possible to shift it. And I want you to have hope. I want you to know that healing is possible. With every live I do, I always want you to see that there's hope, possibility. God wants so much more for you. It's just whether you're willing to step into it and co-labor with him to have everything you want. He stands at the door and knocks. Are you going to open the door? So ladies, I love you all. I thank you so much for being here with me this morning. I hope you have a wonderful day. And those of you in the academy, I will get to see you tonight on the group call. Love you. Bye. Thank you for watching. If you felt connected to this content and it helped you in some way, please like, subscribe, and share this video. Also, check the description below for some special gifts just for you. See you in the next video.